Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw. I'm here with Ted Sykes, who's president of American Queen Steamboat Company, and we're here to get an update on American Queen. And we've done this before, Ted, you and I, and we're going to learn all about what's going on at American Queen today. And this is Insider Travel Report. Now, Ted, we just had a briefing of what's going on with the company, and we're actually here at the Mayville restaurant in downtown Manhattan, and we have some bourbon bottles in the back, and you do bourbon cruises, so I guess that was appropriate. It was a great meal, but I'd rather have it on your ships, put it that way. Now, let's talk first about, you just announced that a shipyard and all getting ready for your new American Countess, which is supposed to debut probably the beginning of 2020, hopefully. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that ship and what it is.
Okay, so we just signed a contract a couple of weeks ago to build the American Countess. It will be similar to the Duchess in the sense that it's a former gaming vessel, but this one we're going to cut and lengthen. We're going to put a mid-body section into it, and she will carry 245 passengers. Primarily on the lower Mississippi. That's where we're targeting. She'll be a little bit smaller than the Queen, obviously, but we'll focus on that, and then we'll do some of the other rivers like the Cumberland and the Tennessee and the Ohio, depending on demand.
Now, this was one of these former sort of gaming vessels, or right. What? And then so you're going to really gut it and go down to the brass tacks and start over, right?
Right. So it's the same thing we did with the Duchess. I mean, the Duchess, I think we literally took a cat and cleaned off all the decks, and then built. As you've been on board the Duchess, it's been built up into a boutique ship. We added a deck to the top of the Duchess. This one will just, it'll follow more the American Queen as far as the amenities. Okay. It won't be a boutique kind of all-suite vessel like the Duchess.
Yeah, and then also, so the Countess is going to come in hopefully around 2020, and what sort of itineraries will it sail on?
We're starting out primarily on the lower Mississippi. We can't get enough lower Mississippi. And I'll just tell you, we are sailing full on all of our vessels. We're sailing full out on the West Coast, on the Empress. We're sailing full on the Queen. We're sailing full on the Duchess. The Duchess has been in service now for a year. We introduced it in August of 17. And we're sold out, and we're starved. Like I keep saying, we're starved for capacities, so we're looking for tonnage that we can buy, build, refurbish, and place in service.
So all you need is get more ships, and then hopefully you'll have some more after the Countess. Now let's review some of your ships today, and let's start with the classic, the American Queen, which is your largest vessel. What's the plan for American Queen next year in 2019?
The American Queen, well, we split the year. We start out in the lower Mississippi. We do round trips from New Orleans. We have some exclusive relationships with plantations down there. We tend to spend the early part of the year until the weather gets more clement in the lower Mississippi, and then we bring it up and we do Memphis, St. Louis, all the way up to Red Wing, which is Minnesota. We will again next year do Mighty Mississippis. Mighty Mississippis are either 2 or 3 week cruises where we traverse the entire length of the Mississippi, either northbound or southbound.
Someone's referred to that's your world cruise, right?
That's our world cruise. That's our world. It's the Mississippi, and then we're saving like the Ohio, the Pittsburgh, and some of those runs for the smaller vessels. But the Queen pretty much lives on the Mississippi.
Now let's go to the ship I was just on with you earlier this year, the American Duchess. What's the plan for that for 2019?
Again, it's the same. We have some Mighty Mississippis on the Duchess. We have some Nashville, we have some Chattanooga, because we can go on the Cumberland, we can go on the Tennessee River, we can go on the Ohio. But again, our bread and butter is the lower Mississippi. That's what our international customers want. That's primarily what our U.S. customers want. So
yeah, that's it.
That's where we focus. Yes.
Now let's look at the American Empress. Is a ship unfortunately I have yet to go on. Hopefully this in the next few months at some point. When your season, you extended the season because you were really sold out. Talk a little bit about what's coming up for American Empress in 2019.
So on the Empress, we have. It's interesting. We serve a slightly younger demographic out there, and I would say more West Coast centric. Although we've had a lot of repeaters from the American Queen take a cruise on the Empress. The Empress, and again, the Empress is sailing full. We've extended the season. We've added some shorter Portland round trips at the end of the season where we've put special symphonies ashore, special shore performances together because it's a great ship for a West Coast junket, for a 4-day.
So give a little sampler cruise to people who
sampler
might want, and
cruise.
then come back and do a longer
Right,
one.
but we've extended the season now well into December, and next year we're starting at 2019. We're starting up in the middle of March, and the same story there. We are sailing full, generally full with a waiting list. So it's
So
What's not to like,
you need
yeah.
more boats.
eventually, yes, that's the plan.
Yeah. Anything else you want to tell our travel agent audience about what's going on with American Queen Steamboat today?
It's a great product. I mean, we keep focusing on, we always say this, we focus on regionally inspired fine dining as one of our hallmarks. Shore excursions, which are largely included. We have the hop-on, hop-off coaches.
And I
that
experienced
travel.
those, and even your for cost excursions are very reasonably priced.
Right, so we pretty much sell an all-in single price ticket. And then the entertainment is Broadway caliber, and I always say this, when I look at the comment cards, the single most common comment I get about entertainment is that people were blown away by our entertainment. And I've always said I'll put our entertainment up against any of the small luxury lines, certainly any of the other river lines, domestic or foreign. And then we're all American crew.
Well, you actually have a theater, which even the ones in Europe, as far as I know, I don't see any theaters on board the European river cruise lines as great as they are.
And pretty spectacular. I mean, on the American Queen, it's modeled after the Ford Theater. It's a spectacular double-heighted boxes, studios. I mean, it's a spectacular. It's a wonderful venue. On the American Duchess, it's got a sloped floor, so it's a single seating vessel. We get everybody in the show lounge at the same time. It's what's not to like. I mean, the quality of the entertainment, the dining, the included shore excursions, and like I always say, the friendly all-American crew keeps them coming back for more. We've got a lot of repeat passengers now.
Well, Ted, always great to see you. Congratulations on the American Countess, which we'll see in a little more than a year at this point.
Yes.
And then maybe you got some more news for us next year to see what's to come. If you keep selling full like this, you're going to have a much larger fleet, I think, right?
Right. So I would say stay tuned, watch this space.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.